When a man sees you as just an option, one of the first and most obvious signs is inconsistency in the way he shows up for you. At first, it may feel like he's giving you everything you want, his attention, his time, his affection, but over time, you begin to notice a pattern. One day, he's texting you nonstop, making you feel special, wanted, even needed. The next, he disappears without explanation, leaving you wondering if you did something wrong or if he simply stopped caring. That push and pull creates confusion, and confusion is never the foundation of love. Real love is steady, it is secure, it is present. When someone truly values you, you don't have to guess where you stand because their consistency tells you every single day. The inconsistency is intentional, even if he doesn't realize it. By giving you attention in doses, he keeps you hooked, always waiting for the next moment when he decides to show up again. This creates an imbalance of power where you are left anticipating, hoping, and longing while he controls the rhythm of the relationship. You might start questioning yourself. Maybe he's just busy. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe this is just how relationships are. But deep down, you know the truth. If someone is truly invested, they make time, not excuses. It's important to recognize that inconsistent attention is not about you being unworthy or unlovable. It's about his inability or unwillingness to prioritize you. People make time for what they value. Think about it. If someone had a job interview, they wouldn't forget to show up. If a friend they truly cared about needed them, they'd find a way to be there. So why is it that he can't return a call, answer a message, or follow through on a promise? It's because you are not his priority. You're simply one of his options, and options don't get the same dedication as priorities. This inconsistency also plays tricks on your emotions. The highs feel intoxicating because you're finally getting the attention you craved, and the lows feel devastating because you're left in silence. This roller coaster of affection and neglect creates emotional dependency, where you begin to cling to the little he gives instead of demanding the consistency you deserve. And that's why it's so dangerous to ignore these signs. The longer you accept inconsistency, the more you teach yourself to settle for less than you're worth. Consistency is love in action. It's not about grand gestures or constant communication. It's about reliability. When someone truly values you, you don't have to wonder if they'll call back. You don't have to doubt if they'll keep their word. And you don't have to feel invisible when they're out of sight. You know where you stand because their actions align with their words day after day. Anything less than that is a reflection of misaligned priorities. So when a man's attention comes and goes like waves, when he's present only when it benefits him, when he makes you feel important one moment and forgotten the next, understand the message in his behavior. He's showing you that you're not a priority, only an option. And your job is not to chase him, not to beg for more, not to prove your worth. It's to decide if you are willing to remain someone's option when you were created to be a priority. The truth is, consistency doesn't have to be begged for. It flows naturally when love is genuine. When a man sees you as just an option, one of the clearest signs is his avoidance of real commitment. He may enjoy your company, he may like the attention you give him, and he may even say the right things to keep you around. But when it comes to defining the relationship or taking things to the next level, suddenly everything becomes vague. He tells you he's not ready, that he wants to go with the flow, or that he doesn't like labels. These are not innocent statements. They are indicators of where you truly stand. A man who values you, who sees you as essential in his life, will not hesitate to claim you. But when you're just an option, commitment feels unnecessary to him because he isn't willing to close the door on other possibilities. The avoidance often shows up in subtle ways. He'll make promises without timelines. He'll say things like someday or maybe in the future when you bring up deeper levels of commitment. He may keep you close enough to benefit from your presence, but far enough to avoid accountability. This leaves you stuck in a place of uncertainty, wondering if things will ever change. That uncertainty isn't accidental, it works in his favor. It keeps you invested, hoping, waiting for him to finally choose you, while he enjoys the benefits of having you without the responsibilities of commitment. This is why it's so important to pay attention to actions, not just words. Anyone can say, I care about you, but real care is demonstrated through commitment. It's the consistency of showing up, the willingness to integrate you into his life, and the courage to take steps forward with clarity. Without these things, words are just empty sounds meant to keep you around. If you're constantly asking yourself, where is this going? Or why hasn't he made this official? The answer is often found in his avoidance itself. When someone avoids commitment, it doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means they don't want to take on the responsibility of building something lasting with you. That has everything to do with their intentions and nothing to do with your value. But the danger lies in accepting that avoidance as normal. The longer you stay in a situation where commitment is unclear, the more you begin to normalize being treated as an option. You may start convincing yourself that patience will change him, or that your loyalty will inspire him to step up. But waiting for someone to choose you rarely leads to the outcome you hope for. More often than not, it only reinforces to him that he doesn't need to change because you will tolerate his indecision. True commitment doesn't require endless persuasion. When a man is ready and willing, his actions make it known without confusion. He doesn't shy away from defining what you mean to him. He doesn't make you compete with his freedom, his distractions, or other women. Instead, he chooses to stand with you openly, consistently, and without hesitation. That's because real love seeks stability, not endless uncertainty. So when a man avoids commitment, understand it for what it is, a clear signal that he does not see you as a priority in his future. You don't need to force the conversation repeatedly. You don't need to beg for clarity, and you certainly don't need to prove your worth. His unwillingness to commit is already an answer. And in that answer lies the truth you must accept, that someone who truly wants you will not leave you guessing. Real love doesn't hide behind excuses. It shows itself through commitment. When a man sees you as just an option, one of the most obvious patterns you will notice is that he puts his needs before yours. At first, it may not feel like a big deal. He chooses where to go, what to do, or how much time to spend together, and you adjust because you care. But over time, the imbalance becomes impossible to ignore. He consistently makes choices that serve his comfort, his desires, and his schedule, while expecting you to compromise without question. This is not partnership. This is convenience. And when someone treats you as convenient, it is a sign that he does not view you as a priority. Pay attention to the small ways this shows up. He calls you only when it fits into his free time, not when you need him. He expects you to listen to his problems, but doesn't create space for yours. He makes plans that suit him and cancels when it no longer works in his favor, assuming you will understand. He chooses activities that benefit him while disregarding what you may enjoy. In his world, you become an accessory to his life, not an equal partner in building a shared life together. And when someone consistently puts their needs before yours, they are showing you clearly that your feelings are secondary. This behavior can leave you questioning yourself. You may start to wonder, am I asking for too much? Or maybe this is just how he is. But relationships are not meant to be one-sided. Love is about reciprocity, about give and take, about considering each other's needs. If you find yourself constantly bending, sacrificing, and making adjustments while receiving very little in return, that is not balance. That is you being placed in the position of an option. The danger here is that you begin to minimize your own needs just to keep the peace. You silence yourself to avoid conflict. You convince yourself that as long as he's around, even in a limited way, it's better than nothing. But in doing so, you slowly erode your own sense of value. When you accept less than you deserve, you teach yourself to tolerate neglect disguised as love. That tolerance becomes a trap, keeping you in a cycle where his needs are always the focus while yours remain unfulfilled. A man who truly values you will not only acknowledge your needs, but will make it his mission to meet them whenever possible. He will consider your comfort, your happiness, and your well-being as part of his own. He will compromise, adjust, and sacrifice too, because that is what love requires. A relationship built on mutual respect doesn't leave one person constantly drained while the other is constantly satisfied. It finds balance in the exchange of care, effort, and energy. So when you notice that his world always comes first, when his convenience outweighs your consistency, when his comfort matters more than your well-being, see it for what it is. It's not love, it's not partnership, it's self-centeredness. And self-centeredness is a hallmark of being treated as an option, not a priority. The truth is simple. If someone truly values you, they will never make you feel like your needs don't matter. When a man sees you as just an option, one of the clearest signs you'll notice is his unwillingness to make sacrifices for you. Sacrifice is not always about something grand or dramatic. It's about the everyday willingness to put effort into the relationship, even when it requires giving up a little comfort, time, or convenience. A man who truly values you will be willing to rearrange his schedule if you need him. He'll go out of his way to support you, and he'll compromise when challenges arise. But when you're just an option, he won't step outside of what's easy for him. His effort will always remain within the boundaries of his comfort zone, and he will resist anything that requires more. You may notice that he enjoys your presence when it's convenient, but disappears when life demands something more from him. For example, he's available to see you when he has free time, but if you need him in a moment of difficulty or crisis, suddenly he's too busy. He's happy to spend time together when it doesn't conflict with his own plans, but if he has to adjust or sacrifice something for your sake, it becomes a problem. That lack of sacrifice speaks volumes. It shows that while he may enjoy what you bring into his life, he does not value you enough to go beyond what is comfortable for him. The truth about relationships is that they require sacrifice. Love is not always about what's convenient. It's about showing up even when it's hard, making adjustments even when it's inconvenient, and putting another person's needs alongside your own. When someone refuses to make those small sacrifices, it is a reflection of how little they prioritize the relationship. Sacrifice is not about losing, it's about giving because the relationship matters. If he doesn't sacrifice, it's because to him you're not worth the effort beyond the surface level. The danger of staying in this kind of dynamic is that you may begin to convince yourself that it's okay not to expect sacrifice, that maybe you should just be grateful for the moments he does give. You start lowering your standards, telling yourself that not everyone is capable of going the extra mile. But deep down, you know the truth. When someone loves deeply, they don't have to be begged to make sacrifices. They do it willingly because your happiness and well-being matter to them. A man who truly values you will show it in the way he sacrifices without hesitation. He will cancel his own plans if you're sick. He will stay up late to talk to you when you're struggling. He will drive across town just to see you for a short while, and he will compromise because keeping the relationship healthy matters more than his temporary comfort. These acts may seem small, but they represent something powerful, the willingness to put love before convenience. So when you notice that he resists sacrifice, when his world never bends to make space for yours, when he protects his comfort more than he protects the relationship, take that as the truth being revealed. He doesn't see you as a priority. He sees you as an option, someone he can enjoy when it fits into his life, but not someone he is willing to stretch for. And that realization should never make you beg for more. It should empower you to understand what you truly deserve. The reality is simple. Sacrifice is the evidence of love. And when it's missing, so is the depth of his commitment. When a man sees you as just an option, another clear pattern that reveals itself is his inconsistency. In the beginning, his attention may feel exciting. He calls often, he shows interest, he makes you believe there is potential. But then, without explanation, his energy shifts. One moment he's attentive and affectionate, and the next he's distant and unavailable. This back and forth leaves you confused, questioning what you mean to him, and constantly trying to decode his behavior. Inconsistency is not a mistake, it's a strategy, whether conscious or not, to keep you attached without ever giving you stability. You may notice that his words don't align with his actions. He says he cares, but then fails to show up when you need him. He promises to make plans, but they fall through more often than not. He tells you that you matter, yet his behavior communicates that you are not a priority. This inconsistency is dangerous because it creates an emotional roller coaster. On the days he gives you attention, you feel hopeful, believing he might finally step up. But when he pulls away, you start to doubt yourself, wondering what you did wrong. This cycle of highs and lows keeps you emotionally invested while preventing you from seeing the truth. His actions are showing you that you are not his choice. Consistency is one of the strongest indicators of genuine love. When someone values you, they don't leave you guessing. They show up again and again, not just when it's easy or when they feel like it. They create a rhythm of reliability because they want you to feel safe and secure in the relationship. In contrast, when a man is inconsistent, it's often because he doesn't feel obligated to provide you that security. He dips in and out as it suits him, giving you just enough to keep you from walking away, but never enough to build something real. The inconsistency also serves to shift the power dynamic. When you don't know where you stand, you begin to overcompensate. You try harder, you wait longer, you put in more effort, hoping your consistency will inspire his. But instead, all it does is reinforce the imbalance. The more you show up, the less he feels he has to. And the less he shows up, the more desperate you feel for his presence. This cycle erodes your self-worth and convinces you to settle for breadcrumbs of attention rather than demanding the full meal of commitment and love that you truly deserve. It's important to recognize that inconsistency is not a lack of clarity. It is clarity. It is the answer you're looking for. When someone shows you that they cannot be steady, cannot follow through, cannot match words with action, believe them. They are showing you where you stand in their life. You are not the priority. You are the option, and their inconsistency is proof of that truth. A man who values you will never make you question whether he is invested. His consistency will be evident in his presence, his actions, and his willingness to follow through. You won't have to chase him, decode his behavior, or justify his absence. His reliability will speak louder than words. So when you see inconsistency, don't dismiss it as confusion, busyness, or temporary distraction. See it for what it is, a sign that he is not fully invested in you. And instead of waiting for him to become consistent, remember that someone who truly sees your worth will never make you feel like you have to beg for stability. Consistency is love in action, and without it, there is no real foundation. When a man sees you as just an option, one of the most painful truths you'll discover is that he avoids making a real commitment to you. Commitment is not simply about labels or titles. It's about effort, responsibility, and a willingness to build something lasting. A man who values you will make it clear where you stand in his life. He will not hesitate to claim you, to honor you, and to move forward with you. But when you are only an option, commitment will always feel out of reach. He will keep you close enough to enjoy the benefits of your presence, but distant enough to avoid true accountability. You may notice he uses vague language when the future comes up. Instead of making plans with you, he says things like, "Let's see where this goes," or "I'm not ready to define things yet." At first, this might seem harmless, maybe even thoughtful, as though he's taking time to be sure. But over time, it becomes clear that his hesitation isn't about patience. It's about avoidance. He doesn't want to commit because he doesn't see you as someone he must secure in his life. He keeps things casual because it gives him freedom while keeping you emotionally attached. Commitment avoidance can show up in many ways. He may resist calling you his partner, hesitate to introduce you to important people in his life, or delay conversations about building a future together. He might give excuses about timing, saying he's too focused on work or that he just isn't ready. And yet, while he hesitates to commit to you, he has no problem accepting the love, attention, and energy you freely give. This is where the imbalance lies. You are offering commitment through your consistency, while he offers you only uncertainty in return. The danger of staying in this situation is that you can easily fall into waiting mode. You begin to hope that with enough love and patience, he will eventually change his mind. You hold on to the small moments of closeness, convincing yourself that they mean more than they do. But waiting for a man to commit when he's already showing you resistance is a trap. His avoidance is not about timing, it's about priority. If he saw you as the one, he would make space for you in his life, no matter the circumstances. A man who is serious about you will not risk losing you to indecision. He will be intentional with his words and actions. He will want to make you feel secure in the relationship, not constantly guessing where you stand. Commitment is not about perfection, but about effort and clarity. And effort is something no one has to beg for. When love is real, commitment follows naturally because protecting the relationship matters too much to leave it undefined. So when you notice a man avoiding commitment, believe what his actions are telling you. He may enjoy you, he may even care about you, but he does not see you as his choice. If he did, there would be no confusion, no delay, no endless excuses. His actions would align with his words, and his desire to claim you would be evident. The truth is, commitment reveals priority. And when it's missing, so is the proof of where you stand in his life.